Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of throwing a fishing line out over the water by means of a rod and reel. The act of creating something by casting it in a mold. Object formed by a mold. The choice of actors to play particular roles in a play or movie. The act of throwing a fishing line out over the water by means of a rod and reel. The visual appearance of something or someone. The delicate cast of his features. Formulate in a particular style or language. She cast her request in very polite language. The actors in a play. A violent throw. Container into which liquid is poured to create a given shape when it hardens. The act of throwing dice. Form by pouring, e.g., wax or hot metal, into a cast or mold. Cast a bronze sculpture. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Put or send forth. Cast a spell. Get rid of. Object formed by a mold. Bandage consisting of a firm covering, often made of plaster of Paris, that immobilizes broken bones while they heal. Throw forcefully. The distinctive form in which a thing is made. Pottery of this cast was found throughout the region. Eject the contents of the stomach through the mouth. Choose at random. Cast lots. Assign the roles of a movie or a play to actors. Who cast this beautiful movie? Deposit. Cast a vote. Select to play, sing, or dance a part in a play, movie, musical, opera, or ballet. He cast a young woman in the role of Desdemona. A decorative strip used for ornamentation or finishing. A decorative recessed or relieved surface on an edge. The act of creating something by casting it in a mold. Sculpture produced by molding. A preliminary sculpture in wax or clay from which a finished work can be copied. The act of someone who fishes as a diversion. The act of someone who fishes as a diversion. The occupation of catching fish for a living. The act of creating something that is different from the materials that went into it. A reproduction of a written record, e.g. of a legal or school record. Matter to be printed, exclusive of graphical materials. Reproduce or make an exact copy of. Copy the genetic information. Make a replica of. Copy that drawing. Reproduce someone's behavior or looks. Children often copy their parents or older siblings. A thing made to be similar or identical to another thing. She made a copy of the designer dress. Copy down as is. The students were made to copy the alphabet over and over. Material suitable for a journalistic account. Catastrophes make good copy. The person or thing chosen or selected. A natural process resulting in the evolution of organisms best adapted to the environment. A passage selected from a larger work. The act of choosing or selecting. An assortment of things from which a choice can be made. The store carried a large selection of shoes. The act of choosing or selecting. One of a number of things from which only one can be chosen. What option did I have? The right to buy or sell property at an agreed price. The right is purchased, and if it is not exercised by a stated date, the money is forfeited. The person or thing chosen or selected. The act of choosing or selecting. Your choice of colors was unfortunate. One of a number of things from which only one can be chosen. My only choice is to refuse. Of superior grade. Choice wines. Appealing to refined taste. Choice wine. The quantity of a crop that is harvested. He sent the first picking of berries to the market. The person or thing chosen or selected. He was my pick for mayor. A heavy iron tool with a wooden handle and a curved head that is pointed on both ends. They used picks and sledges to break the rocks. Pull lightly but sharply with a plucking motion. Pay for something. Pick up the tab. Look for and gather. Pick mushrooms. The act of choosing or selecting. You can take your pick. The best people or things in a group. Harass with constant criticism. Don't always pick on your little brother. Eat intermittently. Take small bites of. Remove unwanted substances from, such as feathers or pits. A small thin device, of metal or plastic or ivory, used to pluck a stringed instrument. The yarn woven across the warp yarn in weaving. Attack with or as if with a pickaxe of ice or rocky ground, for example. Hit lightly with a picking motion. A basketball maneuver. Obstructing an opponent with one's body. He was called for setting an illegal pick. A thin, sharp implement used for removing unwanted material. He used a pick to clean the dirt out of the cracks. Pilfer or rob. Pickpockets. Provoke. Pick a fight or a quarrel. Remove in small bits. Pick meat from a bone. Select carefully from a group. She finally picked her successor. Casting, artificial, bait far out into the ocean, up to 200 yards, with the waves breaking around you. Casting an artificial fly as a lure. Make overcast or cloudy. Fall weather often overcasts our beaches. A long whip stitch or overhand stitch overlying an edge to prevent raveling. Filled or abounding with clouds. The state of the sky when it is covered by clouds. Gloomy semi-darkness caused by cloud cover. A cast that falls beyond the intended spot. Sew over the edge of with long slanting wide stitches. Sew with an overcast stitch from one section to the next. Overcast books. Casting, artificial, bait far out into the ocean, up to 200 yards, with the waves breaking around you. The single-handed rod casting of a relatively heavy, artificial, bait. A cast taken from the face of a dead person. A cast taken from the face of a living person. A metal casting containing the cylinders and cooling ducts of an engine. an obstruction in a pipe or tube. We had to call a plumber to clear out the blockage in the drainpipe. The act of obstructing or deflecting someone's movements. A platform from which an auctioneer sells. They put their paintings on the block. A three-dimensional shape with 6 square or rectangular sides. Prohibit the conversion or use of assets. An inability to remember or think of something you normally can do, often caused by emotional tension. I knew his name perfectly well, but I had a temporary block. Stop from happening or developing. Be unable to remember. You are blocking the name of your first wife. Block passage through. A simple machine consisting of a wheel with a groove in which a rope can run to change the direction or point of application of a force applied to the rope. Render unsuitable for passage. Block the way. Shut out from view or get in the way so as to hide from sight. The thick curtain blocked the action on the stage. Interfere with or prevent the reception of signals. Block the signals emitted by this station. Obstruct. Her arteries are blocked. A metal casting containing the cylinders and cooling ducts of an engine. The engine had to be replaced because the block was cracked. A rectangular area in a city surrounded by streets and usually containing several buildings. He lives in the next block. Impede the movement of an opponent or a ball. Block an attack. Hinder or prevent the progress or accomplishment of. His brother blocked him at every turn. A number or quantity of related things dealt with as a unit. He reserved a large block of seats. A solid piece of something, usually having flat rectangular sides. The pyramids were built with large stone blocks. Computer science, a sector or group of sectors that function as the smallest data unit permitted. Since blocks are often defined as a single sector, the terms block and sector are sometimes used interchangeably. Housing in a large building that is divided into separate units. There is a block of classrooms in the West Wing. Interrupt the normal function of by means of anesthesia. Block a nerve. Run on a block system. Block trains. Shape by using a block. Block a garment. Shape into a block or blocks. Block the graphs so one can see the results clearly. Stamp or emboss a title or design on a book with a block. Block the book cover. Support, secure, or raise with a block. Block a plate for printing. A metal casting containing the cylinders and cooling ducts of an engine.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.